Brilliance Audio presents the unabridged recording of Forget Me Not by Fern Michaels, performed by Emily Durante. Chapter 1. Lucy Brighton sat back in her chair and looked at the array of drawings hanging on a wire with colored clothespins. Izzy, the fat little Yorkshire Terrier, Bizzy, the equally fat white Persian cat, and Lizzy, the colorful red and green parrot. She laughed at her own artwork. IBL, as she called the trio, was her creation, and that creation had led not only to a seasonal line of greeting cards for children, but also to calendars, a comic strip, 3 books on IBL's antics that children clamored for, a cartoon that aired every day at 10 o'clock in the morning, and a merchandising franchise. As far as she was concerned, she had it made in the shade and in spades, and she was only 32. 32, and an old maid. No men in her life. How could there be? She worked virtually around the clock, but that was by choice. Her friends, the few that she'd allowed into her inner circle, had long since vanished, either getting married or moving away in search of the perfect job, except, of course, for Angie, her best and only really close friend. At that point in time, she had no interest in marriage, and she already had the perfect job. She knew she could retire right now, right this minute, as long as she was frugal with her money. Her financial advisor had told her 4 months ago she was in the best position a 32-year-old could possibly be in. Then the economy had started to tank, and she hadn't heard from him since. Well, that wasn't quite true. She had, in point of fact, heard from him, but he was singing a different tune and told her to keep working so she could make up for her losses in the stock market. She'd shrugged and thought to herself, what goes down eventually goes back up. And her lifestyle required very little. Her house and this studio, where she whiled away all day and sometimes all night, had no mortgage, thanks to her parents, who had retired to Florida 5 years earlier. New Jersey was just too cold for them, they said. For some reason, she thought that there was a lot more to it than that, but she'd accepted it and moved out of her cozy apartment and back into the house in which she'd grown up. Parents tended to be strange, and hers were definitely stranger than most. Lucy tore her thoughts away from her parents and the colorful drawings, and got up to walk over to the big picture window in the cozy 4-room studio. She sat down on the window seat, pulled her legs.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?